So it is the season where the nights are coming a lot quicker because the sky gets darker a lot sooner. All of the towns are decorated with really pretty Christmas lights. And all you want to do is snuggle into bed with a nice cup of hot chocolate and just watch the Late Late Toy Show. But then you have this agitating voice in the back of your mind saying you still need to study for your Christmas exams even though you really don't want to. This was exactly me every single time I had Christmas exams coming up because I just really do not want to study when it's cold and miserable outside and when I'd prefer to just be under my blanket in bed, okay? But it's okay, I gotcha. My name's Gabrielle, and today we're going to go through exactly how you can fly through the Christmas exams without that much effort. From first year all the way into sixth year, I really hated Christmas exams because I never really felt like studying for them. But I did find that there were a few different things that I could do in order to force myself to just get my stuff together for 2 weeks, to just do my best in those 2 weeks, and then I'd promise myself that I'd enjoy the rest of the time I'd have off for the Christmas holidays. So here are a few things that really helped me out. And the first thing I'd like to mention is something that was a complete game changer, which is the 1 minute rule. The 1 minute rule is basically when you tell yourself that you'll only study for 1 minute. So this means sitting down at your table, opening up your books, and setting a timer for 1 minute and getting some study done for 1 minute. Now, this might sound kind of stupid, but the whole point of this is actually just to trick your mind into starting to study. The idea here is that you're probably going to continue studying after the 1 minute is up, even though you initially probably didn't feel like studying or even getting started. See, the thing is that when it comes to studying, the hardest part is actually sitting down to study. So once you get started with it, you'll probably study for longer than a minute. And this is why it is so effective, especially when you don't feel like doing the work. So furthermore, I kind of need to check all the time to make sure my background isn't burning. I put a little Christmas decorations here and little candles, so I'm just praying that nothing's gonna set on fire. If this is the last video you see from Studyclix, you'll know why. If the 1 minute rule doesn't really work for you, I'd really recommend exploring different ways to motivate yourself to study. It is really important for you to do this now because it will be a huge game changer when you actually get to your mocks or when you get to your actual exams and you're feeling kind of unmotivated to study. For me, what also really helped was making myself a gourmet hot chocolate with mixing chocolate powder with some milk and then putting whipped cream on it and then some marshmallows, making something really delicious and then taking it to my study table and drinking it while I study. This sounds like such a simple thing, but it can really help to motivate you to do something you don't want to do. This personally wouldn't work for me, but I had a friend who used to actually buy these Christmas stationery sets with little pens with Santa on it and reindeers and stuff, and she said that it motivated her to do her study, because she was mad into Christmas and she didn't want to study neither. So just do whatever works for you. So at this point, you're able to sit down and study because you're using the 1 minute rule. So now you just need to decide what you're studying. So here is a little insider secret. A lot of teachers actually use Studyclix to create their exams because we have this exam builder tool on the website that teachers can use to create tests, exams, and that sort of thing. So it is highly likely that one of your exams might be coming from Studyclix. So for this reason, I think it would be really worth your time to go onto Studyclix and have a look at our questions by topic pages. These are basically questions categorized into topics from exam papers. Because all of the questions on the website are categorized into topics, I would really recommend to just click on the topics that you've covered in the year so far and study those exam paper questions. You'll be surprised about how many of them will come up. But if you don't have a Studyclix membership, I'd really recommend going through your past class tests. These are really brilliant for summarizing what you've done in the year so far. And especially if your teacher has mentioned that oh, I gave you guys this class test and a lot of people got this specific question wrong, you can kind of bet that that question will come up on the Christmas exam. And if you're not sure what to study, then I'd really recommend coming up to your teacher and actually just asking them what's going to come up. Obviously you shouldn't phrase it as oh, miss, what's going to be on the test. I think you should ask your questions what are the top 3 topics that we should look over? What are the top 3 things that are going to come up on the exam? If you ask sort of very specific questions, you're more likely to get an answer than if you just say what's on the test? you know? And so I think going through past exam paper questions and going through your past class tests are both like really amazing things that you should be doing to study for your Christmas exams. However, the one thing I would really recommend against is actually just rewriting your notes. This isn't actually a really effective study method because you're really just transcribing stuff from one page to another. What you need to be doing instead is testing yourself on the knowledge. A lot of students go wrong here because some people do find it quite useful to be like rewriting their notes as a way to study them, but I think this could be a lot more effective if you actually like try to write your notes from your memory and then compare what you've written on the page to your actual notes, because you are testing yourself and that will make it easier for you to remember the stuff that you're writing. And then finally, my last sort of tip is that if you are really struggling during this time, I would really recommend to not worry about it too much. And after all, the Christmas exams aren't like that important because there's no employer that's ever gonna like ask you for your Christmas exam results. Now, if you are feeling super stressed out in this moment, you really just don't feel like studying and you're crying over it, you're shaking over it, like it is okay to just take a step back and maybe not do as much study as you normally do if you are really feeling that stressed out, because these exams are really not that important. If you're doing, say, your junior cycle exams or the Leaving Cert this year, then the Christmas exams are pretty much like the exams that you do to practice for the mock exams, of which the mock exams are the exams that you practice to do your Leaving Cert or junior cycle exams. Like, they're not that important, okay? I really think the best way to look at these Christmas exams as just an opportunity to see what parts of the topics you're going wrong and what you still need to look over before your actual exams. This is an opportunity to make some mistakes, so if you're not like too prepared for the Christmas exams, don't worry too much about it. If you found this video useful, please be sure to leave a like so that we know we should make more content like this, and also be sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any more videos from us. I hope this helps, and best of luck with the Christmas exams. I'm so surprised it didn't burn anything.